Tuesday. Hope your day went well. I had a crazy busy day today. We'll get to that in a moment. While we're waiting on folks to join, reminding you to check out my website, Cooped Up. That is where you can find lots of stuff about me there. I'm Cooped Up as my handle in all of the social places. Would love to follow, and particularly if you are on the Instagrams. And wherever you watch or listen to this, because this is broadcast on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, as well as rebroadcast on all of the major streaming platforms. In case you just want the audio version, be sure to click the bell, subscribe button, whatever it is, so you do not miss a minute of the fun. And with that, let's get rolling. I hope everyone had a great day. So I'm having a good day. It's just a very busy day. So first thing out of the chute, I started the day weighing myself, because that's what you do when you hit the certain age, especially when you're on a diet. As I've said in previous broadcasts, I am on the Optavia diet right now. I'm trying to just shed the weight that I gained, the 25 pounds that I gained during the pandemic. I have news for y'all. I have lost like 13 pounds of them. Yay! More notably, I have lost 8 pounds since last Monday. Yesterday it was 6 pounds. Somehow between yesterday and today, I lost another 2 pounds. That is what is happening to me. I had someone ask me if I got a haircut. I've had someone tell me that my smile looks bigger, my face looks thinner, all of that. So I am there for it. Hey, Mama, good to see you. So yeah, I weighed in at exactly 212 this morning. I started the Optavia diet last Monday at 219.8. So for rounding, we're going to say that's 220. But yeah, I am there for this. I'm very happy. And I'm tempted to celebrate with a glass or two of wine, which then derails the diet. It's like the vicious cycle of, oh, I want to eat something to celebrate. I want a cookie or a cake. But no, I got to keep it going. I literally just need like 12 more pounds to hit my goal. So I'm over halfway to my goal at this point in less than a month's time. And 8 of that has been in a week's time because I finally got on a program. So I'm there for that. So anyway, so that was my celebration this morning. Thank you. Wow, congratulations. Thank you. I'm very proud of myself as well. And I promised I would not turn into the person who talks about their diet constantly, but I think I have turned into that person. Hey, I'm Cooper. How are you? I'm on the Optavia diet. I've lost 8 pounds in the last 8 days. Crazy to think about, considering I did drink this weekend and I did eat like a steak dinner one night. Strike a balance, because you always look great. Thank you, Michelle. I just need to get this midsection off, and I've lost my love handles. They are gone now. So I look thinner from the side now or from the front than I do the side. I've always looked that way, but it used to be when I turned, when I stood forward, I'm starting to show it on the sides. Sides are gone now. So I was very happy about it. And I also, it is so funny to think, and I've talked about this before, I'm sure. It's funny to think that when I was going up, I thought 212 was fat. Like I thought, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Now that I'm on the slide the other direction, the exact same weight feels like $1 million. Like I put on pants today that aren't cutting me in half. I had an event I had to do today. I'll talk about that in a moment too. It's just funny. It's sort of like how in the weather, like when it is when it's really hot, 90 degrees feels really cool, but when it's cool, 90 degrees feels really hot. Like I don't know, it's weird. Eric is in the way on his car, I assume, on the way home from school. Room moms came and decorated my classroom. Room moms are a blessing. Yay. So thank you, Beth. And I just ate. So if I'm like pulling stuff out, I will tell you the hardest part about it is eating 6 times a day. And not that that's not hard. I have to I have an app called Eatwise that is reminding me on my phone and my watch, like, hey, it's been 2 hours since your last meal. You have in the next hour, you need to eat again. When are you going to do it? Would you like to delay 20 minutes or whatever? Because beyond the first few days when I was just constantly hungry, I'm not like, time just flies by and you're like, wow, what the fuck? 3 hours? How'd that happen? So yeah. So after that, I randomly, the song Kasey Musgraves song. Well, actually, it was the first song that came to mind was High Horse. And I'm not a huge Kasey Musgraves fan. Like I could tell you like 3 of her songs probably. But the ones I like a lot. High Horse, I like so much. And that popped into my head this morning and I started listening to it. And then I started listening to the song Rainbow, which there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head. I just love her little twang too. That song though, I forget every freaking time that song brings me to tears. Like I'm talking like straight on, like as if I am singing it at my child's wedding, tears. Because I can make myself cry by just thinking about either of my kids' weddings. It's weird. I know I'm such a weirdo, but I just can think about their weddings and like what's happening on, and I need to stop talking about it because I'm starting to get misty-eyed now. And I don't know why I do that. Like I don't know why, because my wedding was wonderful, but it wasn't like the highlight of my life. It wasn't even the best day of my life. It was great. I enjoyed it very much. I'm glad we did it. It was beautiful. It was fun to celebrate with our family and friends and all that kind of stuff. But for some reason, my kids, when I think about it, it's like, I don't know, it's something weird. Anyway, so that song Rainbow by Kasey Musgraves is such a beautiful, beautiful song. Yes, Eric, I'll get to that in a moment, to your question. Such a beautiful song about people who don't realize that how beautiful they are in terrible situations. And the video, oh my God, y'all, the video. Like it's this woman who's struggling to take care of her kids. And I think she's leaving a battered situation too, domestic abuse situation. And then like this guy, I think he's a gay guy, maybe a trans guy, is in it. And then there's some other people too. It's just a really, really deep, beautiful, beautiful song. And then it got me thinking, oh, today's National Coming Out Day also. So I had to post about that. And what a great seg in my life that was. Like I posted that video talking about rainbows and all of that kind of stuff. And I've had a couple of people ask me over the years, not today specifically, over the years, like, why is National Coming Out Day important? Why do you make a big deal about it? Why should anyone care in this day and age? Why should people care? Well, there's a lot of reasons. One, it is a celebration of people like me finally acknowledging and living their authentic selves. And that takes a lot of work, y'all. And even when you finally accept it, it still takes, I mean, I'm going to say I still find myself questioning actions, mannerisms, if I have my nails painted or not, whatever, because I'm questioning my authentic self, like the things I like, all of that kind of stuff. And I'm open enough to see it and hear it and identify it and see it for what it is and say, no, that is not me. But that is the importance of today for those of us who have come out. For those of us who haven't come out yet, it's very important for the rest of us to be visible so that they see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Not, those of us who live in the city have it very different than those of us who live in the country in terms of acceptance and awareness. And, when we were little kids, Eric and I and all of the others watching, we didn't have the internet to rely on. It was just what was on TV or what we saw in our community. And that wasn't a lot. At least now the kids have the internet and such. But even then, teen suicide rates are tremendously high amongst the LGBTQI plus community, all of that. And so we just keep adding letters. And the reason we add letters is because we're the mother hens and we're trying to protect the flock. So that's why it is so important for those that they do see that they have a rainbow hanging over their heads too. I wonder what that song would sound like if Adele sang it. It is so beautiful. It's just a piano and her voice. There's not a lot of other stuff. It sounds very Adele-ish. There's some things about it that are uniquely Kasey Musgraves. Like she says, darling, and it is one of the is a major word in the song. Adele could not get away with that. So they'd have to change it a little bit. But I bet Adele could sing the fuck out of that song too. And I would be there for it. Yeah. Eric asked, why did I post about Angela Lansbury? Did she die? She did. She died a couple of hours ago, I guess. And at age 96, I believe. If you don't know who we're talking about, get out from under your rock. Use a Google machine. She's very famous. So she's been around forever. She's been around. She was old Broadway, like Sweeney Todd, all that kind of stuff. She may have been like a radio star at some point too. I don't know her whole filmography and bibliography or whatever you call it. But many of us know her from. She was in lots of Disney movies. She was in the main character in Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Fantastic movie. I actually, you know what? I can't say that. I think it's a fantastic movie. I watched that movie when I was homesick with pneumonia in the 5th grade. That was the same winter day, winter week, whatever, that the Challenger explosion happened, all of that sort of thing. I was kind of in a state of delirium, so I'm not entirely sure if that movie actually is any good. That's the only time I can remember watching it, but I do remember liking it a lot. I think, was she in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang also? I think she was. She was in that kind of genre of Disney movies back in the day, a big star then. She was on Broadway as the musical version of Auntie Mame, which is called Mame. She played Vera Charles, I believe. Didn't she in maybe I'm getting that mixed up. No, she was on stage. Was she Vera Charles on stage? Not Vera Charles. B. Arthur was Vera Charles. On both in both the movie and the stage. Oh man, I'm gonna have my gay card taken away. Anyway, I think she had something to do with Mame. Someone help me, please. I'm digging a hole here. And then she was, of course, in Murder, She Wrote, which was a huge show during like the 80s. You know, I can honestly say that I don't know that I've seen more than one episode of that show. It was a show that I didn't really like as a young person. But I bet you that if I put it back on my watch list, which I plan to do, that it would be a show that I really, really liked. Because she's so witty. I had the privilege of meeting her and B. Arthur. Do I have B. Arthur here somewhere? B. Arthur, right? It's opposite right there. Meeting her and B. Arthur, who plays Dorothy Spornak on Golden Girls. At an SMU event, Angela Lansbury was receiving in 1999, I believe it was. She was receiving an award from Meadows School of the Arts, the Meadows Award. It had some name. I think it might have just been the Meadows Award, actually. And I got to meet them because I was working at SMU at the time in alumni relations, and I got to interact with a lot of people. I met Margaret Thatcher during that time. I met Colin Powell, like always these big people. But B. Arthur and Angela Lansbury, of course, I'm like, I love them more now than I did then, but I still was a big old fanboy. Hilarious. They were together doing a little chat. It was very much like every compliment had like a little backhanded barb to it. At one point, I remember them being very tall. And at one point, Angela Lansbury said that B. Arthur is the only actress she's ever worked with who was taller than she. And it got me, I was like, and that stuck with me. But then earlier today, I checked how tall they were. And Angela Lansbury was 5'8", which is not all that remarkable. And B. Arthur was 5'10", at least according to the Google machine. So, and she was Teapot in Beauty and the Beast. Thank you, Monica. And Monica's making fun of me. She was in some movie or show at some time in her life. Did that help? Yes. Teapot and Beauty and the Beast. Yes, yes. Tale as old as time, true as it can be. If you know that voice from the movie, the original. Was she in the remake also? I can't remember, but definitely in the animated version, you know her instantly. So need to go watch some Murder, She Wrote, maybe a little marathon of that. I assume it's on Hulu or Netflix or somewhere. Certainly Murder, She Wrote is on there. Jessica Fletcher. Yeah. So rest in peace. Isn't she Dame Angela Lansbury? I believe she was knighted by or damned or whatever it is. Knighted. I think it's still knighted, right? And you become a dame. By Queen Elizabeth. Eric is saying, I can't say that I watched a lot of Murder, She Wrote. It was no Golden Girls or Designing Women. That same here. And I think it was an hour-long show. And back then, do you remember hour-long shows were like remarkably long back then? And now it's no big woo. I also think that nowadays, so it's an hour-long show, but really it's a 40-minute show, so it doesn't seem as long. Oddly, our attention spans as Americans have like we have none, but then we all sit down and watch fucking Stranger Things, which is an hour and 20 minutes an episode, and we binge on that, and it's like MBD, no big deal. So, yes, I said MBD. I'm prone to that. But yeah. Speaking of shows that are long or go by, we'll get off the Angela Lansbury thing unless you'll have something to contribute to that. Oh, but she was so smart and funny and gorgeous. I thought she was stunningly beautiful when I met her. B. Arthur, by comparison, I don't think she had on an eyelash. I don't think she had on an eyebrow. I don't think she had on any aquanet. She was dressed in like a sheath and those nasty old sandals that she always wore on Golden Girls, where her toes kind of curled out the end of them. She was no great beauty. She was no great beauty. Let's put it that way. B. Arthur, I'm talking about, but hilarious. I love her still. But Amazing Race is another. I'm an Amazing Race super fan, and we finally watched the episode from last week. It comes on Wednesdays. But it comes on, so the kids like it too, but it comes on at like 9 o'clock, and my kids go to bed at 9 or at like 9:20. And so we can't watch an hour-long show at 9 o'clock at night. And sometimes it's even like an hour and a half show. So this week on The Amazing Race, there's no spoilers in this. No one goes home because it's not an elimination. It's not a non-elimination. It is a two-parter. That's not going to spoil anything. It is a two-parter. It's a double something episode, whatever. But it went by like a flash. Like we were watching, both Todd and I was like, was that the whole episode? Did that end already? Like, how did that happen? Here's my thing on The Amazing Race, and I have probably said this before 1,000 times. There are a few things. When you get notice that you are going to be on Amazing Race, or any reality show for that matter, RuPaul's Drag Race, any sort of race, there are certain things you need to know. Like on RuPaul's Drag Race, bitch, learn to sew. There's always a sewing challenge. Know your character for Snatch Game. There's always, it's like the most iconic thing on the show. Know your character in advance on that, right? Those are like the two cardinal rules of RuPaul's Drag Race. Amazing Race, learn to drive a stick shift. You are going to end up having to drive a stick shift at some point. You don't want to be an idiot. You don't want that to be the reason you didn't. So that's number one. Number two, learn to read a map. It is shocking how many people, even on, we're on like season like 473 or something of the show. It's been on since like 2000. Learn to read a map. And so many people are like, I just didn't know. I've never had to navigate without using my phone. I was like, well, then you did not prepare for this show. Bring a compass is the other thing. Always have a compass in your bag and pull it out so that you at least know if you are going from Munich, Germany to Innsbruck, Austria, you know that you are not going north. That you would know that you are at least going south or southeast or southwest, but you are going south. But learn to drive stick. Yes, exactly. I mean, it just drives me insane. And Monica is saying, learn one basic question in several languages. Where is blah, blah, blah? Where is wo ist der? Yes, that's German, by the way. So yes, I mean, just that. And what else? Oh, and there's a couple of like secondary things, like be able to run. Like at least, I know not everyone is a bastion of physical fitness. I am definitely not in that category. But if I got on that show, I would at least build up the endurance to be able to run about a quarter of a mile. If I needed to sprint somewhere to get past somebody with a backpack on, all of that. Quarter of a mile, yes, do that. And also, if you have fear of heights, do something to conquer them, or at least accept them. Like, know that you are not going to die. I fortunately was not born with any fear of heights. I could stand on this desk, which is standing up and not a problem. I could hang out the window. Todd makes me climb on the roof. I only get a little queasy about it, like the transfer from the roof to the ladder. That freaks me out a little bit. But that's more about falling and not about heights. But generally, heights don't bother me. But like, there's always always going to be a height-based thing on there. And there was something else I just thought of that I was like, you got to do too. Anyway, it'll come to me in a minute. Yes. So that was a late addition to my card right there, y'all. But yeah, that show, I love it. It's just so good. I actually like it a lot now. Also, that they're doing it on a chartered plane, because it is eliminating the train stations and the airports as the great equalizers. Like, I've always thought it was super unfair to people. Someone gets to the airport like 3 hours earlier than everybody else, and they're completely penalized because they're all getting on the same flight. Drives me nuts. Monica's saying, be able to eat or drink anything. Yes. They're not. Here's the thing about this show. They don't want you to die. That's how shows end. That is how they get sued. They don't want you to die. If they know that you have a known allergy and all of that, yes. Oh, yes, Christy, that is what I was saying. Learn to read. Reading is fundamental. Read the card. Don't skim it. Don't pretend to know it. Read the card. Read every word on the card. Read it again. Hand it to the other person. Have them read it again. It will save you so much time. Such a good show, though. But on this last one, that reading thing, I was like, oh. And you always, the show is so funny. Anytime someone does something wrong and they don't realize it yet, there's a like in the background. Also, this is not what this episode was about, but since I'm so enthusiastic about it, let's keep going. Always choose the physical challenge over the mental challenge. The physical challenge almost always is easier, like maybe physically harder, but just again with the endurance. The mental one, people have to try and try and try again. The physical one, you almost always get it. Like, always do the physical one. I really need to just be on this damn show already. Monica and I should apply. That would be terrible for the rest of y'all, because we would be laughing the whole time and y'all would have no idea what we were talking about. It would have like subtitles at the bottom, and most of them would say unintelligible. Is that the right word? I think that's the right word. That didn't sound right when I said it, but in my brain it was the right word. What else? I spent the whole day. So today's Amazon Prime early access sale day. I've not looked at a damn thing. I have had meetings, so I had to take the kids to school, and then I had to get ready. I had to leave the house at 10, or before that actually, for a meeting that I didn't even get to finish that meeting until 1:30. I ate a bar in the car because that's the diet I'm on anyway. And then I had to go to another meeting at 2, and then I had to pick up the kids, and they got home. So I haven't had a look, but so I had a little bit of a look, I will say. Unremarkable so far. Like, they were touting all this like Black Friday level sales, and I have this little like doodad that comes up. It's a plugin on my Chrome browser that tells me if I can get it better price somewhere else, and almost always it is showing the same or better price elsewhere. So it's not like, and I don't know that it's matching. I don't know if Zappos is matching. I don't know if like Best Buy is matching. Are they? Like, I don't know. My mother, of course, she's required to say this. You and Monica would be hilarious. Yes. And Monica is saying, I would need a good bra and Depends. Yes, you would. I probably would too. Christy was talking. Christy's my cousin, by the way. I was talking about that today. They're gonna get you with a little detail. Are you talking about the reading of the instructions? Yes, drives me insane. So what else? So if y'all see any deals, let a bitch know, because I'm all about the deals. I just want it to actually be a deal. I even look back on some stuff I've purchased recently, and the prices are like marginally better, like 8%, something like that. And I'm like, not really worth getting all jazzed up about. This may affect some of y'all. They are predicting that there is a looming beer shortage in the United States of America. There is a looming beer shortage because supposedly, because of the big freeze in 2021, it somehow impacted the supply of carbon dioxide, CO2, that is available. And CO2 is what is used in carbonation, specifically for carbonated beverages, but also for preserving meats, preserving other stuff. And so they're having to make choices about, do we preserve goods on the shelf or I guess on the shelves in the cases or whatever, or do we create beer? And they're choosing preserving the other stuff. So looming beer shortage. So stock up on your Coors Light while you can. I don't know if Coors Light's the one, but yeah. Monica's asking for an election update. This just in. So both children won their elections. Yay! Today, Mason is president of the student council at the Kessler School. Yay! Let's do a little round of applause for him. Yay! And Claire, yes, there's another one. Claire is the secretary of the student council. So, yeah. And again, like I said yesterday, it just shows you what different children my kids are. Just the preparation and all that kind of stuff. So, actually, I spent the evening last night looking at public school options for Mason because he's going into the 8th grade. We are exploring both private school and public school options, just due diligence, all that kind of stuff. And I was looking at the Talented and Gifted one. It's a magnet. It's just down the street from our house. And it is one of the top high schools in the United States of America, like top 50 high schools, maybe top 25. It's really, really highly ranked there. And so I went on their website and was looking around and emailed some folks. And someone emailed me back this morning whose kids actually went to our school in preschool. And she was like, yay, blah, blah, blah. And so she asked for some stuff. And she responded back in a way. I actually welcomed the constructive criticism. But she was like, well, with ours, you might be better served looking at other programs because with Mason's scores, which are not bad, they're actually fantastic. He's in like 85th percentile for like all of the core subjects, which means 85% of children his age are behind him on it. So go Mason on that. But she was like, we really only take if it's like 95% or above. I'm like, ooh, like 1%. Okay. But at least I'm very happy she did that because you only get to select. So for these special programs, because, there's so many people who are like, proud to be public, asterisk, as long as it's a special program and I have to work extra hard for it. I'm potentially joining that crowd. You only get to pick 5 and only 2 of them can be magnets. And the other 3 have to be either transformation schools or just in-school transfer or whatever like that, like to just another high school that's not your feeder high school. And so I'm like, well, thank God she told me that we don't blow our chance on that one. Put it there. So anyway, I know that sounds like bad news, like she called my kid dumb, and now I'm like, that's not how I took it at all. It was like, hey, you might not want to waste your shot at this if this is what you're thinking about doing. So yay, Mason and Claire. I know, 2 elected officials in the house. Who knew that would happen? So what else do I have on my list? Last thing I have on my list is now that I am renaming my company Multi-Story Media. Did I tell y'all that already? I know I told you I was renaming my company. I can't remember if I told y'all. Do you want to see the new logo? Let's just go for it. I have not shown this publicly to anyone other than clients, but I feel like it is about time. Let me see if I can open it real quick. Multi-Story Media, and the story behind this image. Oh, that's not the right one. The story behind this is they're all showing up as transparent, and I don't want that. Come on. Oh, me and technology, y'all. I tell you, me and technology. There we go. So my PR firm does PR, social media, and product placements, and we specialize in those things for commercial real estate, commercial construction, and building materials. Like we do other clients, but that's kind of our sweet spot. And as such, and we're big on storytelling and all of that kind of stuff. So, and storytelling meaning like not just writing a generic press release, like making it storytelling. So our company is Multi-Story Media, and this is the new logo. Again, I've only shown it to clients and some select friends. Multi-Story Media. I love it so much. I just love it so much. And our tagline is building stories, building brands. Because get the play on words, y'all. We're building stories, and it's stories about buildings, and it's building brands. And we're helping build brands. Yes. And all that, see the little mark right there? That is supposed to be buildings and pages. I feel like I'm talking y'all through the extremely obvious, but I'm very excited about it. But here's the thing. So we're officially switching over November 1st to this. So we started using the email address. Multistory.media is our website. We have not switched the website over yet, but that will be the website. But the email has switched over. And so we're starting to use the logo, starting to go into places. And now I'm like, you know that saying, when you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail? Isn't that the saying? I may be paraphrasing it. But or when the only thing you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, something like that. Well, now I'm like, when you got to, I have a way with words until I don't, and then I lose them. Sorry. I'm like, what can I put this logo on? I need a mouse pad. I need a notepad. I need a t-shirt. I need a coverall. I need a bag. I'm gonna swag myself into the poorhouse. But yes, I'm very excited about it. And then all the different colorations and the little icons that can be used on stuff. I'm thinking about doing like the logo on the front of a baseball cap, which I never wear, but for some reason I want a baseball cap that has my logo on it. On the baseball cap and that little thing, either the building stories, building brands on the back, or the little buildings thing. So I'm very, very, very happy with it. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Mom. My mother is always complimenting me. Thank you. So much different than my childhood. I kid. My mother actually was a wonderful mom when she was a wonderful mom. Oh, so, alrighty. Am I blushing? Yeah, I think I am. Sorry, Mom. Alrighty. Well, let me check the comments real quick, and then I'm going to sign off. Mom, I'm sorry. I can't believe I said that. Alrighty. Well, with that, I love you. I really do, especially you, Mom. It's important to know you are loved, especially you, Mom. I love that you watched this. Thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow. I don't know if Carrie will be here tomorrow. I've not talked to her today about anything. I've been so busy. Oh, thank you. My mother, this is where I get my self-deprecating humor, by the way, and my honesty about things and all of that. My mom's like, it's true. It's true. I love a good embarrassing story about myself, and I think I get that from you too. So, alrighty, well, I will see you tomorrow at 4:30 for another episode of Cooped Up Live, should I say. Talk to you later. Bye. Bye.